Hello, people. I have received a bunch of comments, like very, very most of them were negative because they were written by one man. But well, anyways, that's a whole big story. Don't really care and don't really mind. Just said thank to him because of his efforts to promote my video, which doesn't even get enough views for for this shill theory to come true. I mean, what a shill can get for his video, right? He can get a bunch of money, probably a bunch of views, because why would you spend money for a shill which doesn't get any views, right? So that's kind of a terrible um, a terrible guess, I would say. Wrong, definitely wrong guess about shill, because shill gets paid, right? And if shill gets paid, then you have to be efficient with this payment, and shill's supposed to get as much views as possible, like go trendy or something, right? Well, that does happen, and my videos don't get any views, and they don't go to suggested, and if they go to suggested, they get suggested in they get suggested in the videos where people watching quite the different videos as I've been showing before, and therefore YouTube algorithms thinks that, well, suggested videos doesn't work, low CTR, click-through rate, so this video sucks, we don't want to show it to large numbers of people, and so it shows it only to subscribers and those people who maybe liked my video, commented on my video before. Well, and so that explains a lot, actually, how they fix the algorithm towards those channels that are actually being suppressed. Okay, so basically they don't show it in recommendations. Well, they show it in like YouTube recommending it to whom? To my subscribers, to the people that already know me, or to the, you know, large numbers of people. Well, first and second, they don't recommend me to the large numbers of people at all. Okay, so yesterday video was called C17 Kabul case, so I wanted to address some questions that were actually from those people who didn't like my video, who didn't think uh, it was enough or plausible enough, although I received uh, some comments which were saying I was right, but I'm not here for the fame. Perhaps somebody will share or even use some of my video in his video. Who knows? Maybe some big channels, maybe some small channels. I don't really know what's gonna happen. But anyways, I've sent this video also to one channel that I follow, because I've recommended that to you guys, and I've seen some people also sharing their video, this video on Facebook, and tagging me and tagging other people. So I think we are into the discussion, and I have to address more details. Okay. So, addressing the first question and being called a shield, let's still see some analytics, and I'll show you that nothing really suspicious. So as you can see, it's 2.3 thousand views, a little bit more than usual, 600 views more than usual, but it's just an average number. I don't get much views lately, so as you can see, they've been suppressing my channel, and I'm gonna show it to you how it works. In general, what they say is they say like you getting more views because of that, because of this, but most of it is just subscription fee. So no wonder subscribers watch my videos. It's not a joke, right? So they do it. Also, YouTube recommendations, it's generally called recommendations, but only maybe half of these people, these 28% of people, actually unsubscribe. Most of them either know me already and were subscribed most of them, some of them are subscribed and some of them not subscribed. So I can look up when the stats will get, you know, more specified in a couple of days. I can post a screenshot on my channel feed. Also notifications, pretty much all of them are subscribers, as you can see. And in general, the issue with CTR, other YouTube features also don't you know, give any credit. It's just like general. So this number is CTR, click-through rate, and it has a pretty decent one of the best click-through rates I have in last couple of videos. So it affects on what they say, efficiency of the video, how much time it gets suggested. So and suggested CTR is only 1.5%. So what I'm saying is they don't show my video suggested to the people who are actually interested in the topic. They show it to some, you know, non-related topics and so on. So just compare these numbers to the numbers of any other, and you see that this is totally discrediting their algorithm, right? So we're done with that. You ask why you are not shill then? Well, it's very easy, because if the shill gets a task to do something, he gets paid, right? If he gets paid, they know they want you to be effective also with this money spending. They don't want no shill with 100 views or 50 views or even 2,000 views. They want shills with millions of views, at least hundreds of thousands of views. So there is no way I would be a shill with this view count. Okay, so let's go to the claims and comments which discredited my research on topic, right? So first one and the biggest one was probably how could people be behind those jet engines. So let's go through this. So addressing the first question, the question on how people were running so close to these jet engines, and why didn't they get hurt or something. Check out this U.S. Army's 82nd Airborne Division in Afghanistan Kabul Airport 2021 a deployment video. That's quite different plane, but still very interesting footage. As you can see, the engines are working. I can make it. Yeah, it's clearly hearable that they are working. So you can find this video by yourself and check it out. Yeah, people are board in the plane. They are boarding from front, and this is front view, and they are boarding it from the back also. Look, they're walking below those engines and nothing happens to them. Oh, really? Yes, because you can see they're boarding the plane right in the back of those engines and nothing happens. So it's safe, guys. It's safe. It's safe to do that. And you know what? The plane right now is docked with some types of brakes, and so if you release those brakes, it would probably start moving on very low speed. Okay, it's equal when you press the drive, put the drive shift, and then release your, don't press on the gas. It's just gonna be driving, right? So this is the same mode probably, just for the engines to be warm and always ignited, I would say, and for the plane to be fast on takeoff. Okay, so anyways, I think we're done with this topic.
Adam is clipped into a safety harness, and he has established some hand signals with Jamie.
So I put one hand up, and that means increase the power.
Exactly.
Waving around means get me the hell out of here.
Okay, fire that puppy up.
For safety, the pilot starts the thrust at just 20%.
So they starting with 20%, and pay attention how much speed is 30%, and remember that those guys were running in front of the plane, which makes its speed less than 10 miles an hour. So the power is less than, I would say, 5, maybe 10%.
Which allows Adam to heave himself to his start point. Once there, the pilot ramps up the thrust. 30% is 100 miles per hour for our fearless Mythbuster.
You can see how fast those folks are running, right? Barely, maybe 5-6 miles an hour. Well, let's say 10 miles an hour.
40%, 110. 50%, 120, and he's still holding. But when the wind hits 130, he gets a knockdown blow.
So that nails all the argument about how can you walk around the plane. Well, I didn't receive any inflated plane of C17 pictures, but still some pictures look really like this is a balloon plane, but no, it's a real plane. It just has this type of paint that makes him look this way, and of course resolution. For example, during this flyby you won't see any details on the plane, and it may look even like a balloon or something because it's moving so slow and it's so heavy and so on. So I mean, looks lighter than it is. Actually, it's very heavy, and but you know, the movement looks like it's like in something like a balloon type, and no resolution doesn't give us any details on that. But this is real plane. I didn't succeed in finding inflating models or decoy plane of C17 or any other military plane footage looking something like inflated plane, but I found this inflated plane model or whatever balloon plane on the Alibaba site. So found some more. As you can see, they look ridiculous and couldn't be presented as real planes or anything like we saw on this footage. Well, as you can see, a guy touches the plane, it's totally shaking. Just imagine how many frequencies that plane would give if those people would be jumping on this plane, right? So inflated plane, no way. The next question was how in the world so many people were hanging on the chassis and the first front wheel and the back landing gears. How is that possible? Well, I'd say I found the answer to this question too.
With all of the media attention and focus on the C17 Globemaster III after the incident during the evacuation of Afghanistan, it's worth taking a look at this C17. Now, in those videos, which were pretty difficult to follow because they were just shot by somebody who was on the runway as the aircraft taxied to takeoff, this is the area of the aircraft that we saw with that big crowd of people hanging onto the aircraft. Now, when you see it here, you can gain a sense of how they were able to crowd onto the aircraft. The main landing gear doors of the C17 Globemaster III are enormous, and they provide a big flat area. So when you look at all the people that are crowded on the aircraft holding on to it, not only do they have a place to stand on this main landing gear door, but in addition to that, you can see the doors that are open because of the position of the main landing gear struts. That gave them something to hang on to. Now, in addition to that, there was a brief moment when one of the people who was clinging to the outside of the aircraft as it taxied for takeoff and began its takeoff run was actually reaching for this vent door that's right there. For whatever reason, perhaps the person thought that that was a way for them to gain entry to the aircraft. And then, of course, there's that tragic video that surfaced that showed what appears to be two people falling off of the aircraft as it flew away after takeoff, and obviously they didn't survive. Now, how were those people able to cling to this aircraft in flight for so long? Well, there were suggestions that they may have crawled up inside the landing gear. And we can take a look at this landing gear here and see if that's even plausible.
It's not assumption. There were plenty of reports, like New York Times, body parts found in landing gear, flight from Kabul. Also, people ask, can I survive in landing gear of a plane? U.S. Federation Aviation Authority records suggest that at best 1 in 4 stopaways survives. Others die or fall in transit. Some are crushed when the mechanized landing gear retracts into the wheel well. Most survivors suffer severe hypothermia or frostbite, often losing limbs. So, another NBC News, body found in landing gear of US plane. Like 3 people were mashed there, at least 3 people. Body of dead Afghan found in the landing gear, military jet leaving. Body parts found in landing gear, flight from Kabul, officials say. So you just, all this footage is available, and probably when the guy was like, parts of the guy were, one person were hanging in the air while the plane was flying. Probably these shots were taken from the vent shaft, where that guy said the guy was trying to reach for as the entry.
So that's a look inside the landing gear of the C-17. There's not much room for a person in there.
Average Afghani is smaller than average American, and as you can see, I found a video where a person can actually go inside that landing gear wheel well and do the maintenance. So I bet 3 of these guys can be there. Nobody was climbing into the front wheel, so we at least solved the puzzle with the back landing gear. And yes, you can actually be there, but the front one is very narrow, so I bet nobody was able to hang on to this one, and therefore nobody was found inside. Okay,
Maybe there was somebody hanging on the outside of the aircraft, but remember that when the aircraft retracts its landing gear, when the landing gear goes up inside of the aircraft, this large door closes and it's flush with the bottom of the aircraft. Additionally, those doors up there, they also close. So there's nothing to hold on to anymore. And unfortunately, those people that were trying to leave Afghanistan and find their way to freedom just had no way to hang on to the aircraft anymore. It's no wonder that they fell to their death.
I've asked this expert about other questions that have been they were put in the comments, so if he will answer, I will also make an update on that. But some people think that inside of that is a car or a tow truck, which can be towing this in this hidden mode, could be towing this plane.
We all have seen this footage going around online, and people claiming this is a supposed inflatable airplane. C-17 Globemaster. Absolutely not. This is an actual plane. I'll get into it right now. First off, we all seen this comparison photo, the actual aircraft, and obviously the lighting is different from this one.
At least somebody thinks it's not inflatable, as me, okay?
You don't see the markings you see here on the one below. And again, I'll get right into it. This is intentional disinfo. Okay, first off, let's focus on the lack of markings here. Let's play the video once again. And you'll clearly see them appear. Again, it's all about the lighting. See clearly here the markings. And also, again, to the engine aspect as well. Obviously, it looks very different. It looks very dark. The windows look dark as well. It's all about lighting. Take a close look. As you see here in the inside, as more light comes in, you'll see clearly the inside of this engine. And I'll move it up a little bit more. And clearly, this is not an inflatable airplane. Now let's play this video a bit more and I'll get into it, what's actually happening here. And first off, in the very front of the plane, what's happening here, you have some guy, hanging off the side at an angle, and there's some type of motorized vehicle that's pulled in the front of this standard C17. There's no reason to use an inflatable plane and all the time and effort and energy to get an inflatable plane. There's no reason to. So you have some type of motorized vehicle in the front, one in the back as well. It's that simple.
Well, I don't know guy's name, but you said there's no reason, but there's no reason to use tow truck if you have a C17 which can move by itself. Just it's ridiculous how you see the jet engines, how you see that this is a real plane, but you see a tow truck. What the hell, man? It can't just be some Taliban truck. It's supposed to be real truck, the tow truck. And look how big this thing is. It weighs a lot. You have to be very powerful to pull this thing. Look how much equipment and how much weight is this C17. You have to have a hell of a jack on that tow truck to be under the plane, playing the role of the front wheel, as you're saying, or just riding nearby. You cannot. How do you connect, man, if you're riding nearby? It's just ridiculous. I mean, and you're saying there's one in the back. Where in the back? You don't see any space for any kind of truck, any kind of car. Maybe even only Ferrari or Lamborghini can fit out down under the rear landing gear. So no, there was no truck. People were just running nearby, trying to grab the front wheel landing gear, and it has something to grab, by the way. And we see people falling from it, trying to hang on and falling. So I mean, there's no reason to believe in this truck theory. There's no truck there. Now look closely at this slow-mo zoomed in picture. You see the front wheel and two sides where people are just hanging. Look at this guy in white in front over here. He's jumping off and start to run. We don't actually see what's on the other side, but this could be digital artifacts, which we clearly see a bunch of other stuff where they climb, and they're good climbers, and they've been climbing prior to the case with this C17, because they all bought tickets on those planes, and those planes were halted. All the people who were inside this and already boarded were let out of the plane, and they started to run around. And mostly they, as you see, males are very active, and but still some females are also watching, because most of these people have families. And so many footage shows that American Marines, which were guarding the airport, started to even shoot some of those who were provoking the crowd to run on the runway. And that footage also available everywhere you can see. And Taliban even reported 4 dead people after this shooting, but Americans said they were shooting in the air. Well, anyways, that was quite a disgrace. People started to run around, and therefore they found the only moving plane, which was that C17. Of course, it could be set up to leave this Masonic or hidden hand signature, and if you calculate those numbers, you find that they equal to 33. But also what was happening next couple of days after that, also very disgraceful. So people were just throwing kids to the side of where somebody was already inside the airport. The rest were outside on the checkpoints, and a bunch of kids were just given away.
Just take a look at the Kabul airport. Thousands of people banging at the gates, some of them trying to climb the walls. Do you know what the Americans did? They fired tear gas, as if this was some protesting mob. The Taliban probably felt ignored, so they joined the crackdown, firing live shots to disperse the people.
Critics will say this is also staged. They don't even scared. They're just watching something. Look at this footage. Just no words, no comments on that. Well, so finishing up with plane and everything we just discussed, it's a heavy plane. Nothing can move it while being underneath it. Only a tow truck, a special tow truck with a special gear, and it has to be in front of that. There's no way something can be underneath those back landing gear. Look at this one. It has broken front landing gear and trying to land on the back landing gear, and still it's very heavy, and you can see all those sparks from the front side, front part of the plane. So it's very heavy plane. No way any car could survive underneath it. So and just I hope you like this video. Share, subscribe, and see you later. Bye.
We're in a position where what we did was we took precautions. That's why I authorized that there be 6,000 American troops to flow in to accommodate this exit, number one. And number two, provided all that aircraft in the Gulf to get people out. We pre-positioned all of that, anticipated that. Now, granted, it took 2 days to take control of the airport. We have control of the airport now.
Still a lot of pandemonium outside the airport.
Well, there is, but look, but no one's being killed right now. God forgive me if I'm wrong about that, but no one's being killed right now. People we got 1,000, somewhere 1,200 out yesterday, a couple thousand a day, and it's increasing. We're going to get those people out.
But we've all seen the pictures. We've seen those hundreds of people packed into a C17. We've seen Afghans falling.
That was 4 days ago, 5 days ago.
What did you think when you first saw those pictures?
What I thought was we have to gain control of this. We have to move this more quickly. We have to move in a way in which we can take control of that airport. And we did.
But you don't think this could have been handled, this exit could have been handled better in any way? No mistakes?
No, I don't think it could have been handled in a way that we're going to go back in hindsight and look, but the idea that somehow there's a way to have gotten out without chaos ensuing, I don't know how that happens. I don't know how that happened.
So for you, that was always priced into the decision?
Yes. Now, exactly what happened, I was not priced in, but I knew that they're going to have an enormous. Look, one of the things we didn't know is what the Taliban would do in terms of trying to keep people from getting out.